Hello dear students, my name is Gaurav Bansal, teacher for Indian Economy at GS Core. Today we are going to continue with the discussion we started, and this is about how to integrate PYQ in your preparation. So we call it approach to mains, and this is where we cover previous year question, and from previous year question we try to understand on what theme did UPSC ask that question and how we have to prepare it from today's perspective. So we have, since we already had a discussion under it, I hope many of the students are already aware of this pattern. Still, there can be new students, so for their purpose also, I have briefly given you the idea. Now, today, our theme is unemployment, and for this theme, I've picked up certain question from previous year. Now, this is a question from 2017, and in 2017, there was a question, account for the failure of manufacturing sector to achieve the goals of labor intensive exports. Suggest measures for the labor intensive, for more labor intensive rather than capital intensive exports. So, on the face of it, the question is from manufacturing or the question is related to exports. But essentially, the question is about unemployment or alternatively employment generation. So, what kind of question UPSC will ask today if they want to ask a similar question or if they want to pick up the theme of unemployment? Of course, unemployment is a very big theme and there can be various perspectives in asking about unemployment. But one of the solutions to address the unemployment problem is to create mass jobs through manufacturing. That particular dimension this question is taking here. So, how do we reverse engineer? How do we pick a question and from there we go to the syllabus? From where, how do we interpret on what themes UPSC asks and what kind of question UPSC asks and how we use that information to prepare for today. That is the purpose of this video. So let us read the question again. We are talking about how manufacturing sector failed to ensure that we have labor intensive exports. Means the export that we do from India or products that we export from India, those products should be a product of labor intensive manufacturing process. Means if we if we export 1 crore rupee worth of products, we should be creating perhaps, let's say if there is a choice, 700 jobs instead of 200 jobs. So there are two technologies with which we can produce something. Let's say steel. Steel can be produced by a factory A, which is a completely integrated factory and with minimum labor requirement. Then for 1 crore rupee worth of exports, we will hire roughly, let's say 200 people. Okay. And similarly, there is a traditional factory where it is not an integrated process and lot of labor is required to load raw materials into machine or to transfer materials between the machine, and they're also required to observe things at various stages. In that, of course, a lot more labor is required. So same steel can be produced by two methods. Why are we not able to adopt, or why we are not able to export more and more the output from this type of technology, and rather that we are exporting largely from automated plants or integrated plants which require less and less labor? So this is a major concern, and by the way, a labor intensive export is actually going to solve a large number of our problem. India is a labor surplus country. India is an overpopulated country, and in such a country, it is better if we absorb more and more labor into various economic processes. Unfortunately, if we look at the nature of our international trade, our imports are more labor intensive compared to our exports. Means what we export does not employ too much labor. Rather, what we import is a product of labor intensive process. Means if we would have been producing those products in India instead of importing, we could have hired a lot of domestic labor in that process. So this is where it really pinches us. So this question was asked in 2017. By the way, this was the time when Economic Survey was highlighting this issue. They were talking about the labor elasticity of exports or employment elasticity of exports. Now, it's a very technical topic which is not really suitable for the UPSC GS. Maybe for economics optional, it is more suitable. But still, since Economic Survey was talking about it, it was for a purpose. And immediately after Economic Survey talked about it, we brought a change in our international trade policy, or basically foreign trade policy 2015-20. We made a midterm change in that after 2.5 years. That was exactly in year 2017. And it was at that time this question was asked. So it was very much in news at that time, at least for those who care to read detailed things. Okay, it was not that much in news in newspapers very regularly or at the media platforms, or there was not too much discussion. But otherwise, if you read serious documents, then yes, it was there in them. And anyways, now today, is the topic relevant or not? Is the topic dead, or is it a permanent topic? So the point is, this news may not be very much relevant today because this was a specific development at that time that we made a change to our trade policy, but this problem is still there. We have not been able to solve this problem, and this problem actually haunts us. We need to create a lot more jobs compared to how much we actually create. So this still remains a challenge and still remains a evergreen question. So, what kind of theme are you going to link this question to? So, first of all, job creation from manufacturing. So, manufacturing promotion is one of the key themes of the current government, or basically for last decade. They launched Make in India, they launched PLI later, they launched so many other initiatives to promote manufacturing investments in India. So, of course, manufacturing is in focus. But why manufacturing is in focus? Manufacturing is in focus because in past we dealt or we faced the problem of jobless growth. We had record growth of 8% or even 9%, but we were not able to create too many jobs from it because that growth was coming from a highly sophisticated production system which was increasing production but was not able to hire that many people. So that is why we were required to address this problem. And the solution for that is manufacturing, because services sector cannot absorb that much of labor in big quantity, whereas it is manufacturing which can do it. Unfortunately, even manufacturing has not been able to absorb too much of labor, because even in manufacturing where we could have hired labor, we are using capital intensive technology. So this is a major theme in itself, and it is a permanent challenge that India faces. Further, today, industrialization 4.0 or industrial revolution 4.0, or sometimes we call it industries 4.0, whatever we talk it, I mean, whatever we name it, it's the same thing. It is about the AI, robotics, the Internet of Things, automation, etc. So that is further going to reduce the labor intensiveness of the processes. It is further likely to create more and more challenges related to job creation. So this is even more relevant today due to AI or industries 4.0. So today when you are preparing on this theme, you should also keep this in mind. Okay, how AI can further create challenges in job creation. Okay, and it will further reduce the labor intensiveness of our manufacturing and other processes. So this is your broad theme. Then this theme is part of unemployment reduction. Unemployment remains a major problem, and whenever there is a vacancy for a reasonable position in India, whether private sector or public sector, we see how many applications are there, how many overqualified candidates are there, okay, how many people are struggling at a very low paying jobs at Swiggy, or let's say other such companies as delivery boy, because there is so much unemployment. So if we have to address this problem, there has to be various perspectives. One of them was manufacturing that we just discussed. And then Apart from these two, this question is also related to analysis of trade. When we talk about international trade, we have to do its analysis. How much we export, how much we import, do we export more than the import we do? If we do so, that's a good thing. However, for countries like India, unfortunately, we import much more than we export. So our imports are higher. That's a big problem. Then we not only have to analyze how much we export or import, but also what we export, what we import, or with whom we trade, to whom we export those things, from where we import our products. All of that is part of analysis of trade. One of the part of analysis of trade is also about how much jobs we create by exports, or how much jobs are we losing through imports. So if those things that we are importing, if possibly they could have been made in India, then how many jobs we could have created in India by that. So that is also an alternate perspective that we need to talk about. So analysis of trade is also linked to this. So these themes are integrated within this question. Of course, this is not too much visible here, and you do not even have to go in depth of analysis of trade, but a short point is required on that as well. But majorly this question is on the first theme. The second theme also broadly you will link with this. So these are the topics that you can interpret from this question, and eventually what can be a practice question for you. So yes, before we move ahead, the answer for the question. So the failure for the manufacturing sector in the labor intensive exports and the measure for labor intensive exports that we can make. So first of all, in the first part, reasons for the failure. Okay, why we are not able to make labor intensive exports too much. One of the biggest problem is rigid labor laws. Our labor laws are too tough. They are very, very rigid. As a result, Indian companies, they do not want to hire much labor. They want to move far away from the process where too much labor is required. So in India, everybody wants to avoid labor, hiring labor, because that involves a lot of legal complexities and lot of political attention. When you hire people, everything is good, and government will also praise you. Everything is good. Okay, you are job creator in the country, but nobody supports you directly. It is with your own money that you have to pay to those people. It is the growth of your business which will determine how many more people you can hire. Similarly, businesses can also see bad days, businesses can decline as well. And when in those situations you try to fire your workers, then everybody go against you, right? From government to social media to your workers to everyone, and this is a situation people want to avoid. So rigid labor laws are a big problem. Then inadequate infrastructure is also a challenge. So that is also a reason why we are not able to export a lot of those products where labor intensive processes are involved. Because in those products, when we want to compete internationally, we find due to other issues, due to various infrastructure shortages, etc., we are unable to compete. We are behind some of our biggest competitors like China, or maybe Vietnam, or maybe some other countries like Thailand, etc. So that is also a problem. Then there is also a problem of skilled workers. In India, the education system is largely about formal education, academic training, where we study every subject in general, whereas the requirement is of skill training, where you train people in the industrial activity. For example, how to operate an assembly line. For example, how do you paint an electronic panel or a steel panel, or for example, how do you weld various surfaces. These are various jobs that industries require, whereas these are not the things that we teach. Okay, so a factory worker does not have to be an expert in the law of thermodynamics. They should be doing their job with a finesse. So that is what is required. Unfortunately, that's not what we train our students with. So there is a big skill gap also. These are the reasons. Of course, there can be more as well, but just to give you an idea, these are the reasons why we have relatively less labor intensive exports. And when it is about how we can further export labor intensive exports, so obviously these are the things that you have to talk about. Labor law reforms, that by reforming the labor laws, simplifying them, encouraging entrepreneurs to hire more labor, okay, and not putting the burden of let's say compensation of laborers on them, that will help and encourage entrepreneurs to adopt labor intensive processes. Infrastructural development, that is also important. So if we are more and more competitive, for example, the biggest gap when it comes to compete with China is the shipping in India. Shipping is where we lose competitiveness very badly. Our shipping cost and related interest cost, insurance costs are too high. And for example, a product is manufactured in China at a cost of 46 rupees. In India, it is produced at a cost of 48 rupees. We are quite competitive there. We are not too much behind. But by the time it arrives in the USA or Europe, Chinese are able to transport it at a cost of 8 rupees. So their 44 rupee product will be able to reach USA at a cost of 52. Whereas India's 46 rupee product will reach USA at a cost of 60 because our transportation cost is very high. By the time it reaches to the foreign markets, the gap is already very big. So manufacturing wise, the gap was, let's say, 2%. But by the time it reaches US or Europe, the gap is 8 or 9%. And this is where we lose the market. Okay, so infrastructural development and then skill development programs. And we already had Skill India mission, which unfortunately was not very successful, which did not bring the transformation that we perhaps desired from it. So that is something that we need to see and launch a new program or Skill India Mission 2.0 something. So these are the points broadly that were needed to cover. Now, some of the practice questions that you can do, and I would see that if you put your answers, your approach, your hints in the comment, I will reply to them. Okay, I will answer you regarding, I mean, not answer you, but reply to you that how good is your answer or what are the gaps where you can improve. That is something that we would like to do. And for certain period of time, we will keep coming back to the video and check the comments and we will try to answer them. Now, let us see the probable questions in today's context that you can pick up from this theme of job creation from manufacturing, unemployment and trade. So, despite various initiatives, India's manufacturing sector has not significantly contributed to employment generation. Analyze the structural challenges impeding job creation in manufacturing and suggest strategies to enhance its role in reducing unemployment. So, it is not linked to export import, but it is a very similar question, which is almost an evergreen question because those problems are not yet solved. So, similar question you can of course expect to see tomorrow. So, do try to answer for this, do try to take a shot at this. Then another question which can be linked to trade policy is, for example, India's trade policy aim to boost manufacturing exports, yet the sector's contribution to labor intensive exports remain limited. Examine the factors affecting this trend and propose measures to align trade strategies with employment objectives. So this question is more oriented to trade. What kind of trade policy specifically we can adopt? So in that way, this answer will be somewhat different from the one that we just discussed. So similar questions are very much relevant because the problem is persistent. Sometimes there is a previous year question. It is about a problem which was there in Indian economy 10 years ago. Perhaps today that problem is no longer there. So that question may not be very relevant today for this purpose. But there are certain questions, they are about problems which are pertinent, which are almost going on for last 20 years, perhaps 30 years, and they're still ongoing unless we bring some big reforms. So these type of questions you need to practice. So do try to comment and I will check the answers. I hope you have found this video useful and you will participate more and more. We'll soon meet in another discussion in this series. Thank you.